Yeah, guys. So I'll cover few practical topics today, and with this session you will understand how the upcoming sessions will be, and you know um, the same kind of a setup. Also, we are going to do it in your own local system with the help of the virtualization tools. Right. So what I have planned today is I have planned to like kind of examples to show you like one is how a system can be compromised by exploiting a vulnerability, and in a similar way an application also, right? I mean, I'll be taking some old vulnerabilities or to just show you or to connect you how the actual vulnerabilities and the exploitation works, right? How we can identify the vulnerability and how we can exploit that vulnerability to break into the system. So for that, what I am going to use is I'm going to use these two systems. One is uh, Kali Linux operating system, which is an attacker system. And let me start with Windows 7. This is my target system. Right? So from the attacker system, I'll be, you know, attacking to the Windows 7 system, guys. So this is like a plain Windows 7 system. So what I'll be doing is I'll be installing some vulnerable version of the softwares in it. I mean, I'm going to make this system vulnerable intentionally to make you understand, this hacking process, right? So I have the Windows 7, and yeah, I'm running the Kali Linux operating system over here.
Or maybe my connection.
Yeah, Mansa.
Yeah. Okay. I think I lost my connection, so I'm just lost.
Taking a bit time. This was like old version of the OS, which I was using from a long time. I think I need to also install the latest one. Okay, we'll do it later. Uh, so my Windows 7 is running, and my Kali Linux is also up. Okay, so this is my target system now. Okay, Windows 7 is my target system. Let me enable the firewall. So last time I think I have disabled the firewall. So of course it comes defaultly with firewall enable only. But as we practice and play with this vulnerabilities and exploits initially, to understand this hacking process, we'll be disabling it for some time. Okay. So for us, this is our target, right? So we need to identify the IP address of the target, right? Either you can go to the command prompt and type ifconfig. You will get the IP address of this specific machine. Okay, in my case, it is 192.168.243.167. This is my local IP address, right? Uh, Similarly, when you're doing this pen testing assessment and all on the server or on the network, you will be given the IP address or the range of IP addresses to you, right? For an attackers, of course, they gather themselves. We will learn that how they gather the IP addresses, by sitting outside of the organization. Okay, once we start the information gathering phase. But okay, for us, we know the IP address of the target, and the system is also in the same network because they are just connected locally in the bridge mode, right? So first, to see, whether they have, I mean, the Linux operating system, okay, attacker system, and the target system, are they reachable? I mean, is there any route between these two systems? Okay, can I able to reach this system or not? That is very, very important, right? If you cannot reach that system, let's say there is a no internet connectivity, will you be able to perform the hacking? No, right? So first, what you need to do is you need to find whether this system is reachable to you or not. So for that, we start with ping. Okay, ping 192.168.245. Um, sorry, it is 243.167, right? 243.167. I'm just pinging it. Okay. So sometimes the pings can be blocked. I'll tell you why. We can do a simple Nmap scan on the same system. Nmap is one of the tool that we can use it for performing the host discovery scan. Okay, what we are doing is host discovery scan. So we are like probing the system now. So it says the system is up, which means it is reachable for us. Okay. So yeah, it's reachable for us. It says the host is up. This is a MAC address of the target system, and it's performing a MAC lookup, and it's telling that this MAC address belongs to the virtual box. Okay, I mean, of course, you can also confirm the same thing by typing get mac/v. Okay, you can see the MAC address, right? It's the same. You can see CA09,
Mhm.
which ends with CA09. So here also it's CA09. Okay. So we know that, okay, the system is reachable for us, right? The next thing what we do is we'll try to identify the vulnerabilities in it by doing the information gathering. So we'll see how many ports are open in it. Okay, ports are like, I can say, entry points for us into the system. So suppose if you're running specific service in your system, um, the service will run on a dedicated port number. Okay, what is mean by service? Let's say you have FTP, okay, file transfer protocol. Okay, it runs defaultly on the port number 21, SSH 22, okay, HTTP 80. So whenever you run any services on the target system, it runs on a specific port number. So those ports are the entry points for us, right? When you find any open port, we'll see if that open port has any vulnerabilities in it. If yes, of course, we'll go and exploit it. Okay, if the exploit is available. Okay, I think you will understand that process. So yeah, Manasa, please.
So might be silly to ask. So like we do have different ports for HTTP as well as HTTPS, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So are those two like similar, or what's the difference between those two? Like I heard some security related. So what exactly the difference between the HTTP and HTTPS?
Okay. So it's the same. What happens is when you run on a HTTP, the entire communication between the client and server is unencrypted, which means it is in
Okay.
clear text.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's like if you're sitting in the coffee shop and accessing the HTTP website,
Mm-hmm.
if the same person, let's say attacker is also sitting in your same network on the same coffee shop. I mean, I'm just taking the reference of the coffee shop as an insecure network, right?
Yeah, it is possible.
All
Okay.
the communication which is happening from your system to the server in the clear text, including whatever the credentials that you enter, whatever the forms that you submit, attackers can easily able to get it. We have separate topic to understand this called as a sniffing,
Mm-hmm.
SNIFFING, where I'll show you how this kind of attacks can be exploited practically, right? But whereas HTTP will provide you the transport layer security, right? Even if someone is sitting in between you and capturing all the data, they can see everything in the encrypted way. So to crack it, again, it takes a lot of time because those encryption keys are something which they might be not aware of it, right? It basically it provides a transport layer security. Okay, single line answer between HTTP and HTTPS differences. Okay, yeah. So there are like a lot of ports. Okay, 65,535 ports. So of course, no one use all the ports at a time. Depending on the services, what they run it, they use a single port or multiple ports, right? So what I'm going to do is in this Windows 7, I'm going to open a specific port, okay, which is HTTP port by installing some vulnerable version of the server, right? I think you will understand it better.
Yeah.
Okay, stop this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, uh, you know, to make this system vulnerable, I am installing a old vulnerable version of the software, which has a very critical vulnerability in it. Okay, which is BadBlue Enterprise Edition software. This you will get it when you go to exploit-db.com, and here you can search for BadBlue. Right, so right now I am installed BadBlue 2.7. Yeah, this is the one. I have installed it. Okay, so when you click on download vulnerable app, you will get the exe file. And I have installed the exe file here and I'm running it now. Okay, I have already done the installation. I'm not doing it again. I'm just running it on port number 80, right? So you can see now it's running on the port number 80. You can also change the port number when you wanted to run the service in the other port. But yeah, it's local server, okay, has a web interface. So it's running directly on the port number 80. Okay. So when you perform this scan, nmap scan on this target system to identify if the port number 80 is open or, sorry, IP address is wrong. Okay. You can see that the port is open. What I've done now, I have opened a port. Suppose if I'm clicking on stop, okay, sorry, I think I have clicked 2 times. Stop. Yeah, it's stopped now. And if you run the same scan now, it says filtered. Do you understand? I am opening a port and I'm
Mhm.
closing a port, kind of a thing.
So
Right?
how can we know like what are the ports available, or like how can we check whether it
Yeah.
is empty,
That is the
null?
next step. That is the next step. Okay,
Uh,
that's the
Okay.
next step. So right now I have opened a port. I know it's a vulnerable because
Mm.
as I clearly mentioned that I'm going to install a vulnerable software in it to just to make you understand the whole process, right? So now we know the port is open. So what attacker will be doing next? Okay, after identifying this port is he will identify what version of the HTTP is running. See, right now it says HTTP. We know that some HTTP server, they must be running it, right? See, when I use this version detection scan, it says that it's running HTTPD what 2.7 version of the server. So basically, what I can do is I can open this even a browser to access this HTTP port. I can directly even identify what is running in it. That is a one way of collecting the information, right? So it's like 192.168.243.167, right? So you can see it says BadBlue, right? But we don't know what version of the BadBlue is, being used, right? But here it clearly says that they are running 2.7, right? So I'll take this 2.7 BadBlue version and I'll go and I'll check it out in the internet or the vulnerability databases or the vendor portal. Is there any vulnerabilities are there in that specific version, right? I do v- something called vulnerability research over here. Okay. So when you do this, you have so many results, correct? Let me open all of these results here. Okay. So Rapid7, of course, they are the creators of Metasploit tool. They have even a vulnerability assessment tool called Rapid7, right? So yeah, this is a blog uh, from them related to this BadBlue vulnerability. So it says that this specific, okay, this module exploits a Stack Overflow vulnerability in the pass-through functionality in the exit.dll in the BadBlue 2.7 2b. So it's basically a memory related issue, okay, where the memory is being overwritten in this pass-through functionality, which is basically exit.dll. Okay, sorry guys. Right? So uh, I mean this is like technical now, right? Stack Overflow is of course a new term to you. Um, right? DLL is basically dynamic link library to run the EXEs. It will depend on the DLLs. In Windows, you will find this DLLs. So it says that in this pass-through functionality of the BadBlue 2.72, there is a memory-related issue called as a buffer overflow, right? And this can be exploited. Okay, this can be exploited. I mean, see, what happens is you will find a vulnerability, but not always you will be able to exploit it. Okay, only if the exploit is available in the internet, okay, we can go and use that exploit and run it against the target, right? So, so here it says that this particular exploit is available with the Metasploit tool, right? Even the exploit is also available over here in the exploit database. we can clearly see is that BadBlue 2.72b pass-through buffer overflow, the same one, can be exploited by the Metasploit. It's a very famous exploitation tool. Here is the script, okay, Metasploit exploitation code, and this is, I mean, this many characters that they are sending it to the pass-through functionality to uh, create that buffer overflow issue. From there, they are taking the reverse connection. I mean, you don't need to have um, knowledge about the exploitation and all. Okay, it's just like we need to check if the exploit is available or not, like how the vulnerability assessment tools are giving it in the report, right? Yesterday we have seen that. If you look into the Nessus report, somewhere it clearly mentioned that, okay, some specific vulnerabilities are exploited. Okay, it told clearly with the true, you can say. I mean, these all the things are exploitable, but other ones are not exploitable. They will even give you the source from where you can download the exploit, rather than we go and look into it and identify it manually. They can also help you to um, give all the reference links for us, because it's a paid tool. We are paying it to them, so yeah, it is like a feature, right? You have a lot of other reference links also from the various blocks, even from the exploit DB and all, right? So right now, though, it's clear, right? There is a vulnerability, okay, in this specific version of the BadBlue 2.7. That is also a buffer overflow issue, and that can be exploited using the Metasploit, right? So, okay, so we know even this specific vulnerability also have a CVE assigned to it, okay? This particular CVE, or we know the version of it, or we know the functionality where the issue is also. So you need to understand these basic things, right? Now, either you can report it directly, telling them, hey, this is the issue. You need to upgrade to the latest version. Okay. That is a vulnerability assessment. But if you want to see whether it can be exploitable or not, you need to run the Metasploit tool against the target. The same Metasploit tool again uh, comes pre-installed in the Kali Linux operating system, right? To run that, you can type the command called as a MSF console, Metasploit framework console. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this tool called Metasploit, and I'm going to choose this exploit, okay, related to BadBlue 2.7. I'm going to run it against the target, which is 243.167. I'm not going to write the exploit. You got my point. I am just going to use the existing exploit from this framework to see if I can able to do the exploitation or not, right? So here you can type, okay, I mean, it has its own database with all the list of exploits, payloads, auxiliaries and all. We'll learn this. So right now I'm using a search operator or search utility to identify the exploits related to BadBlue, right? So you can see we have two matching. One is for 2.5, one is for 2.7. Which one I have to choose now? The second one, right? Because the version should match, right? So vulnerability that we have discovered in 2.72, and maybe if you run 2.5, it might not work, right? Because this might be in other function, or this, okay, they might be fixed it in the 2.5. So yeah, it might not work. Okay, let's go with this one, right? So we are using 2.7, this one. So let's use this, right? So use one. Okay, it has a number, right? Or you can also give use to. Automatically it'll load that exploit. Okay, over here. Yeah, Mansa.
Yeah. So my question is,
Mansa, your voice is low.
okay. So my question is, so we know that we are checking for the BadBlue 2.72b, that is like that's already exploited. So in a scenario, we don't know, like we if we checked for the any no, other than BadBlue, so they have multiple things, like let's say 4 or 5 descriptions. So out of that, how we can know like whether this is exploitable or not in an unknown scenario. This is known scenario, right? You have explained us regarding the BadBlue 2.72b. If we have an unknown scenario, then how we have to choose that?
See, okay. So every vulnerability will have a dedicated CVE number assigned to it.
Okay.
Okay, suppose it's a 2007 6377, right? You can say it's the same 2007 6377 related to BadBlue 2.7. So simply I can now search with CVE 2007. What is that? 6377. You will get very specific results now. Only matching with that CV. This is the one are you referring to, or is it different?
I got confused. So అలా కాకుండా let's say like can I speak in Telugu?
చెప్పండి.
సో ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకి మీరు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు కదా బ్యాడ్ బ్లూ 2.7b అనేసి బ్యాడ్ బ్లూ కాకుండా ఇంకేదైనా టార్గెట్ సిస్టమ్ తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి సో ఆ టార్గెట్ సిస్టమ్ లో XYZ అనేవి ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ అవుతున్నాయి సో ఇప్పుడు ఆ XYZ లో మనం ప్రయారిటీ లైక్ ఏదైనా ప్రయారిటీ పెట్టి తీసుకుంటామా లేకపోతే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఫిక్స్ చేసుకుంటూ రావాలా
See, always the prioritization happens depending on the severity,
ఓకే
right? If something is critical, so you need to fix it as early as possible because critical vulnerabilities will have more impact, right? So let's say something which is giving an attacker to access the whole system with read, write, and delete permissions. So we need to fix it early, right? If something is, let's say, disclosing some information but not giving the access to the attacker, so which one you will fix it? Information disclosure vulnerability, or the full system takeover vulnerability like this, like remote code execution one?
Maybe the system take over.
Correct. So always the prioritization happens depending on the impact of that vulnerability.
Okay. But that should be categorized by our sense, like whatever priority we
So
have
when
to
you
give.
use these tools, right? When you use
Mm.
these tools, they do all the categorization for you,
Mm.
and they'll give you the severity of the tool, right?
Mm.
Suppose if you see we have some CVSS score.
But ప్రతి
Okay.
ఒక్క కంపెనీ లైక్ దాని సెపరేట్ టూల్ అనేది యూజ్ చేస్తుందా లేకపోతే కామన్ టూలే యూజ్ చేస్తుందా
It's a common tool, right? See, you have all the severities, right? Some like few things are 10 9.8. Suppose let's say I'm choosing 10 9.8 8.6 7 till 7.5. So I need to fix this as early as possible.
సో ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో ఒక టూల్ తీసుకుంటే ఆ టూల్ లో ఉన్న వల్నరబిలిటీస్ అన్ని మనం ఫిక్స్ చేస్తూ ఉండాలి
మనం ఫిక్స్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఓకేనా? మనం ఈ వలనరబిలిటీస్ని రెస్పెక్టివ్, ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఈ అసెట్ ఎవరిది, ఈ అసెట్ లెట్స్ సే ఒక స్పెసిఫిక్ టీమ్కి సంబంధించింది,
ఓకే
రైట్? సో యూ నీడ్ టు టెల్ దెమ్, హే దిస్ స్పెసిఫిక్ అసెట్ యాజ్ 7 vulnerabilities in it, which are which one is critical and the rest of the issues like 6 are high. Okay.
Mm.
So these vulnerabilities can be exploitable because we can see here, right? So if you're not fixing it, someone can easily exploit these issues. So you have to take this as a very high priority, and you need to work on it. You will also give the solution to them,
Okay. Yeah,
right?
we have to provide solution at the end.
Yes, you have
Okay.
to give the solution to them. So they will work on fixing on it. That is
Okay.
vulnerability assessment,
Mm.
right? So
Mm.
pen testing is like checking, okay, is it
Mm.
really exploitable? It could be a false positive also,
Oh, okay.
right?
Mm.
Because not all the vulnerabilities you can able to exploit it. Many vulnerabilities should have some dependencies. Okay. Um, not all the environments will be same as the target who identified this issue. There are some prerequisites also sometime. So of
Mm.
course, we need to check that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
Cool. So right now, though, we know this process, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this exploitation today. So let's go with the one. So automatically the exploit is something which is loaded over here, right? So we just need to type show options to see what all the options are available in the exploit. And then we need to give the R host, which is target IP address, R port, target port number, because these things are required. I mean, it's like someone has identified the issue and somehow the exploit is also outside in the internet. So we are just using that and running it against the target by giving this target IP address and the target port number to verify whether it is exploitable or not, right? Let's see. So set our host, I'm giving target IP address to 43.167. And anyway, it's running on port number 80. If in case if you find it's running in different port, you can also change it in the same way, right? Set our port, the port number, and this is my local IP, my local port number through which the attack is going to happening on the target system. And you can also verify it whether the details are properly added or not. And then you can type the exploitation, right? So let's wait for it. Let's see whether it's going to work or no. See, it says exploit completed, but no session was created. I mean, the exploration is happened, but we don't have any active connection from the target system to attacker system. Maybe let's do it this with the force. Oh, we have given the okay, see, this is the target IP address and my IP address lhost, I need to give it. Oh, sorry. What is my IP address? ifconfig. It is 243.136. Sorry. Oh, it's same. Okay, it's cool. So what is the option? It says invalid option R host. Okay. Okay, hyphen F we can use it, or hyphen force run we can use it. So it's basically going to run this exploit forcefully on the target. Okay. So if you see here, we are not, I mean, the exploration is completing, but we are not getting any kind of a active session, right? There could be many reasons for it, right? So we'll figure out the reason, but if you understand it properly, um, there was a vulnerability that can be exploited, but when you try to exploit it, it's not, uh, you know, allowing you to get the shell, okay, or get the remote access to the target system, right? So we can try, in a multiple ways. Maybe I'm thinking because of the firewall, it might be not allowing for the exploitation. I've just disabled it and let's see. Okay, still we are not getting it. Okay, maybe what I'm thinking is there are two exploits, right? One is for 2.7 and one is for 2.72b.
One is for 2.5 and another one is for
No, no, no.
2.7.
In the 2.7 itself, we have two again.
Oh, okay.
6377. See here. In the 2 point, I mean, for this specific CV itself, in
Okay.
2.7 itself, there is a 2.7 and 2.72b. I have
Hmm.
used this one. Okay, it is not working. Maybe let's try this one, right? And now show options, the same process. Show options. Okay, automatically it has taken the IP address and the port number. And now let's do this exploit again. Yeah, not always, it works as expected. So this time we are getting no session.
Throwing with the same error.
Sorry?
It's throwing up the same error, right?
Okay. Yeah, same error. Why? Let me see by using 0. Is that service is running?
Was stopped.
Oh, it stopped. That's the reason it's not working. I mean, the port got closed. Okay, when you do the exploitation. Okay. Yeah, this is the issue. Okay, now it's running now. Let's do this exploit. That's the reason I'm watching the system. Okay, you can see it's stopping when I'm doing the exploitation over here, right? It's like a denial of a service.
Hmm.
Okay, the service is automatically being stopped by the attacker by just running this exploit on the target. Okay, cool. So I'm running it again. Let's see.
So we are trying to exploit that system, but it's not allowing us to do so, right?
No, it is. See, we got crash If you see that, we
Mm.
got crashed, right? The system got crashed initially. Not system, sorry. The service got crashed. So it's also like denial of a service only. See, who is stopping that service? Attacker, right? If
Mm.
the service is stopped remotely by an attacker, if someone is also trying to access and maybe see uh, I mean, do any kind of a transactions on this BadBlue enterprise server, it is not available for them. It's a denial of a service attack. Okay, but now if you see here, I've restarted and again I ran this on the target. This time it has opened a session for me. I mean, the
Mm.
exploitation is successfully happened. Now this time we got a session from the target system to our system. Okay, which is metapreter session, which means if I type sysinfo right, I am actually in the Windows 7 now.
Mm.
It allowed me to uh, take the access of this Windows system. You can see the BadBlue is running as it is. There is no signs of that I have break into this specific system. Right? Suppose let's say I wanted to access this my notes file which is in the desktop. I'll be able to access that. Okay. So right now I am in C drive. Right. Let me go to few directories back and ls. Let me go to users and let's see how many users are there. Okay, that is user called Sai. And let me go to desktop, ls. You can see there is something called mynotes.txt. Okay, if I want to read it, yeah, I can read that. Okay, there is something written related to username and password, right? See, if I open this file, it will be same. I mean, just because of a running vulnerable version of the software, which has a very critical issue, and the exploit is also available in the internet. Anyone like me can simply follow the steps and break into the system, and it can lead to full compromise of the system. Right now, I have the complete access of the system now. I can do maybe download, upload, right? I can do some modifications in the system. I can install some malwares in it. I can access the webcam. I can record the audio. I can record the keystrokes. All of this malicious activities, it allows me to perform it remotely. Did I touch that system while I am doing, exploitation, or did they need to click anything? No, right? It just a
Mm.
state remote code execution vulnerability which allowed us to, get the access of the system, right? I mean, these kind of issues you will find it a lot. So I mean, this is like the importance of patch management, right? If you identify it and fix it early, this kind of exploitation, would have not happened by the attacker. Understand?
Mhm.
Clear?
If we know the target system IP address, like with all these commands, we can access the system directly, right?
Yes.
So how we can do the patch management then? Like if we want to do the patch management, like what might be the next steps?
Okay, so first, I mean, the decision is, of course, on the product owner. Let's say I'm the product owner, you will be reporting to me saying that, hey, this specific version of the software that you're using is vulnerable. Okay. So first of all, I mean, I'm the product owner, right? I'll decide. I'll go and
Mm.
check it into the vendor portal. So vendor will also be knowing it, right? There is an issue. So he might
Mm.
also be suggesting with certain steps to fix it, or move it to the latest version of the software, right? Where there is no vulnerabilities in it, or he will also be working on fixing it. So we have to go and read the solution, and we need to pick the latest version, I can say, where there is no security issues in it, and I have to apply it. Okay, that is manually, but the same software, let's say, is being used in everyone's system in the organization. You cannot do it manually. So there is a tool that patch management tool. Using the patch management tool, they can push all the patches automatically without even you manually working on it. And they have all the software inventory maintained, so they know where what softwares are being running in the organization devices. So they are the one who will be choosing the right version and updating it to the latest one where there is no flaws. Again, we perform the next scans and confirm whether it is moved to the latest version where there is no issues. Okay.
Okay. I'll try to do my laptop.
Sorry.
I'll try to do it for my laptops today. I'll try to perform same operations.
Yeah, you can do it. Right. Yep.
Yeah. I do have two personal ones, so let's see like how I can process.
Yeah, you can try. There are hundreds of such type of vulnerable softwares and exploits are available outside. Okay, the subject is endless. You can start
Yeah.
with this.
Little interesting, but little tricky too.
You will learn all of this, right? I mean, these are all individual topics actually, but
Oh,
to just
yes.
to connect, uh, the upcoming sessions, as I said, I have taken the whole concept of teaching you with one example. But yeah, everything, whatever we have used today, the commands and all, you're going to learn it in a step-by-step way. So again, you will get a better understanding when to use what tools, different scenarios. Okay, all of these things. Cool. So this is one example, and the second one, I'm going to show you an application layer vulnerability, exploiting an application layer vulnerability. Um, for this, I'm taking a demo banking web application called as a uh, Altro Mutual. Okay, Altoro Mutual, right? So it's like a banking application. We have a login page over here. So I'm trying to log in with my let's say credentials. Okay, I'm just putting your name, Manasa, and Manasa is also password. So do you think I'll be able to log in into it?
I'm not sure.
So it says that login failed. You cannot log in into it, right?
We have to create our username and password, right?
Correct, right?
Hmm.
See, now by just adding something like this, a single quote
Hmm.
r one equal to one hyphen hyphen space with some random password, I'll be able to log in into the account.
Oh, you already hacked it.
Right. So how this has happened? Okay, how this kind of issues um, can be identified and you know can be uh, fixed. Um, what is this issue? Okay, to understand this, of course, you again need to learn the uh, application security, which we have it already part of this syllabus, right? It's basically called as an SQL injection vulnerability, right? So the given username and password will goes to the backend database to see if that username and password is matching or the user is existed in the database or not, right? If it is existed, it allows you to log in. But here, they are not including that user data in a safe way into the SQL query. So I have written a very basic payload called as a um, what is that basic payload I have used? A single quote or 1 = 1. Okay, it's like if the manasa is not there, you can go for 1 = 1, right? I mean, see, database will understand ones and zeros.
Mm.
If the one is true, zero is wrong, right? So I am only defining this true statement over here. If the manasa is not there, then you can go for 1 = 1, which is a true. Okay, I'm only generating a true value, and I'm not even knowing what password. I'm just putting it over here. And when I clicked on it, you can see the password is this, and I was able to log in into the first user into the database. That is admin, right? It's a very critical issue. We were able to bypass the uh, login, and we were able to log in into the admin console where you can create a new users or kick out any user that you wanted to,
We
because
can
admin,
transfer whatever funds we have.
yes, 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 right? So this is another example, right? Of course, like you will be learning, uh, you know, many different application layer vulnerabilities. Okay. Um, yeah, this is one example. Hope you got it. So yeah, we don't have much time. Otherwise, I could have uh, taken a little more time to explain you about the each step, what actually happening when you put that payload in it. But yeah, we will learn that in the actual sessions, right? Yeah, guys, that's all from my side for today. Um, yeah, from Monday onwards, as I said, we'll be starting the actual, you know, sessions. Um, yeah, mm, the demo sessions are done, guys. So I'm open for your questions. What about other people who have joined here? No questions? Navanita, Rahul, Susmita, Shiva, Mahesh, and someone joined with number.
Yes, we are.
So how can we hack if we don't know IP address of target system?
Sorry?
If we don't know the IP address of target system, how is it possible to hack?
Okay. So, as I said, pen testing is an authorized activity. When you're doing this pen testing, they will be providing the IP address, right? That's the first of all. If you think like an attacker, let's say if you wanted to break into someone else's system or to do the same kind of an activity, of course you need an IP address, right? So we can identify the IP addresses by using a lot of techniques, I can say, right? Um, like suppose if it's a web server, suppose if I wanted to know what is the IP address of Google, right? I mean, I'm just telling you. So you can simply ping it. Let's say I want to know the IP address of some domain, okay? Let's say ping. Let's say I need ping ICICI Bank. I need ICICI Bank IP address, right? So you can simply ping it. It's like you're probing them and you got their IP address over here. Okay. This is like very basic one, but there are a lot of ways that we can gather the information. We can also look into some of the search engines, hacker search engines like Shodan.io. I mean, it performs the scans for whole internet, and it's like a search engine for all the internet connected devices. Supports, let's say, I need the IP addresses belongs to a specific vendor. Let's say I need uh, the details of the servers who is using, let's say, Windows 2016 server. Uh, I can also apply the filters over here, and I can also get you can see it's disclosing the banner name. See, I got the IP addresses of 6 lakhs 42, close to 6 lakhs 50 IP addresses who are using this Windows version. Or simply I can send a link to them. If they click on it, I'll get their IP address. Okay, for an example, I have something called IP logger. Okay, it's a free one. I'm going it over here. I'm generating a link. Let's say facebook.com. Okay, so I got some link over here. Let's say I'm sending this link. I'm just putting this link in the chat. Can anyone just go and click on it?
Yep, I have done it.
Okay, so if I go to visitors, you have clicked on it, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't see any information. Just a minute. It's okay, sorry, I think I have given the wrong link to you. That is a static link to see the statistics. Okay, it's for me. Actually, this is the link where you have a copy option. It's my mistake. Okay, and now I'm putting the latest link.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can click on the second link.
I did so. It's asked
Okay,
me for sign up or login, Facebook.
second one, the one which I've
And
sent to you. Okay, I can see there is a one click. Okay, 4 clicks. Okay, some people. Okay, you're sitting in United States.
yeah.
This is your IP address. This is your ISP, Internet Service Provider. You are using Windows 10 device. And if I need more accurate information about you, this is your place, right? This is your latitude and longitude. If I copy paste it in the Google map, I'll get the exact coordinates,
Oh, no.
right? A lot
Now,
of ways, guys, you know. I think
now, with the commands what you have used earlier, you can get my computer access, right?
no,
You
no,
do
no,
have my IP address.
no, no, no. It is not so
Won't it
simple.
be possible?
No, it's not so simple. Okay, don't think like if I have an IP address, I'll be able to break into it until unless if there are a lot of vulnerabilities in it, which allows me to uh, get into it. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
y-
we can give it a try. Like I just want to know like whether
no,
my
no, no.
computer.
This is your router IP address. You need to understand how the IP address communication works also. This is your
Hmm.
router IP address. Okay, you will have only
Hmm.
one public IP address. And
Hmm.
for that router, you will be connected to many devices like your laptop, phone, TV, and all. They are
Yep.
private devices. I cannot directly reach your private devices.
Okay.
Okay, there is a IP addressing classifications and all. You need to learn it. Okay,
Okay.
it's not so like very straightforward. Like I have shown it in the demo. It might be possible when you have a very open, free, without secure network.
Yeah, that's what I just want to check whether my system is up to date. Like it's not.
You
It's
will learn that. You will learn how to evaluate your system. Okay.
okay.
Uh, right. We have something called vulnerability assessment topic, right? So
Hmm.
there you will learn how to identify or you can do a quick vulnerability scan on your own infrastructure to identify the issues and you can work on fixing on it.
Okay. Yeah,
It, it's
because
like your
I
it's
don't
like
have
your
much
small
of it.
project
Okay.
for your home itself.
Okay. Fine. Because I don't have installed any McAfee or any antivirus scans or something. So.
I got it totally, but I cannot reach your exact Windows 10 system. It's running with the private IP address. Okay. Only
Ah,
I can scan or I can reach till your router
okay.
because I know your public IP address.
Okay.
If you have a time over the weekend, you can do some research about the IP classifications.
Okay. Yeah,
You will
I'll do.
understand. You will understand it.
Mm.
Yeah. Cool. I think I have shown practical example for your question, right? Clear? The more question you ask, I'll, explain more. It's very simple. Is there any equivalent alternative for IP address? Without IP, how can you get the internet connectivity? No. Yeah, Rahul.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Shiva and Mahesh.
ఇప్పుడు
I can.
మాకు వస్తుంది
Sorry?
హౌ టు ఏబుల్ టు యాక్సెస్ అంటే ఈ రికార్డింగ్ క్లాస్ బట్టి
E-session access, huh?
ఎస్ సార్
Tomorrow morning.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్
Yep. Fine, guys. So, any questions if you have, you can ask me. Already we're running out of time.